I know why you clicked on this video. From every corner, new niches, ways to make money, and knowledge that you want to eagerly absorb into your head and be the one who is ahead of the rest are beckoning you. You already know that knowledge is power, and those who learn faster than others get the best first. You've seen young people making millions at 18, and you realize that you could be in their place. You also realize that the only thing you needed to do all this time was to study the content. But I won't rub salt in the wound, so I'll skip straight to why you came here. In this video, I'll tell you how to learn any subject in 7 days. I'll say in advance that this will be a 4-step plan. And if you don't follow at least one of them, all your efforts will be down the drain. Keep that in mind. And our first step is discard other options. And I'm not talking about motivational nonsense about burning your bridges, throwing your wallet into the river, and staying in a room with a mattress and a laptop. Leave that as motivation. With us, everything is much simpler and clearer because first you have to choose the direction you will study. You can't focus on one area because you see thousands of others. Every day you choose to study programming. And on the same day you come across a guy who assures you that programmers are idiots and you need to go into crypto. You start studying crypto and another guy in shorts yells that it's a scam and you need to go into neural networks. Understand that you're not studying not because you can't, but because you're not sure of your choice. You're always doubting and trying to choose something that will definitely work. Can you know 2 things in advance? First, that it will work, and second, that you will really like it. And of course, you have a question. How do you choose this direction? Here are some instructions. First, write down no more than 4 areas that you can't choose between. Then set yourself the task of studying each of these areas for exactly 1 week without thinking about the others. At the end of each week, write a report noting how well you are doing in this area, how much you like it, and how promising it is for you specifically. And it is only after testing all these areas that you will be able to discard the unnecessary and concentrate on one. But there is an important point. During each week, completely disconnect from all sources of information. You can even delete all social networks and use them only for communication. And study questions on your topic only directly from queries, without looking at recommendations, for example, on YouTube. So let's say you started studying neural networks and want to know how assistants work, for example. The only thing you do is write a query on this topic without looking at anything else. By the way, to completely eliminate noise, there are various extensions that remove recommendations everywhere and leave only the search option, right? You will free your mind from unnecessary doubts about what I do, because letting go of one pathetic week without studying other topics is not so scary. But in the end, you will definitely determine what you really need. So the next step is to study and work at the same time. To do this, let's move straight on to practice. When I started working in my first year of college, I learned more in a couple of months than I did during my entire time at university. And my studies at university began to have a real impact. Yes, I studied mathematical analysis and higher mathematics, but they were never useful to me in any real project. I understood this, so I just passed these subjects with a C with a clear conscience, but I crammed the really useful stuff until I couldn't remember it anymore. So keep in mind that the main point of practice is that it immediately shows you your weaknesses. Plus, you learn not only to know, but also to do. And it's action that produces results. So add a simple rule to your life. At least 50% of your learning should be real-world tasks. They can be small or imperfect, but they must be practical. The more you engage in practice, the faster you grow. You may ask, how do you apply practice? My answer is, first throw yourself into a learning environment, and then, when you encounter a problem, start studying. For me, it looks like this. First, I take or come up with a simple task. For example, making a website layout or editing a video. Then without any preparation, I dive in and try to solve it with what I already know. Most likely I'll hit a wall and a bunch of questions, mistakes and gaps will start to appear. And only at this point do I do a targeted Google search, watch videos, and look for information in manuals, specifically on the problem, not just on the whole topic. As soon as I find a solution, I don't get distracted and continue working with what I already have in my head until the next problem arises. Then you stumble again, look for new information, and solve it. So step by step, you work and learn until you reach the final product. The whole point is that new knowledge comes at the very moment when you really need it. Our mind ignores everything it doesn't know how to use. By focusing on practice, the brain understands that the information found is necessary and useful, not just a bunch of useless facts. As a result, you didn't just learn something, you already applied it and therefore remembered it better. And now you're not just working for the sake of it, you're actually gaining experience. Well, that's only the second stage. Next, the third condition for successful learning. Think of studying as a quest with rewards. I'm sure you tell yourself that the reward should only be for achieving something great, and that the intermediate stages and mistakes are worthless. But achieving that greatness can take weeks or even months, and mistakes are actually experiences that also bring you closer to your goal. Just imagine a game where you only have one reward, and that's only for completing the entire storyline. How long would you stick with that kind of gameplay? Don't think you'd last more than a couple of hours, but that's exactly what your life looks like if you don't reinforce your results every day. So imagine that you are in a game where you complete quests every day, gain experience, and loot bonuses. It's very easy to do. At the end of each day, write down what you learned, what you did, and what turned out better than you thought. And in advance, write down new quests for yourself to complete the next day. What to learn and what to do. I'll let you in on a secret. Until you actually start tracking your achievements, it will seem like you are standing still. But in reality, you have made tremendous progress. You have improved your skills and maybe even managed to earn some money. But you won't know this until you start recording your achievements. Each achievement in the final stage. Motivation answer. What is the main driver of progress? Money as an example. We go to university not for knowledge, but for the guarantee that we will be paid for our skills. You even choose your field of study at university by immediately calculating how much you will be paid in that specialty. Therefore, in order to be motivated to study, immediately come up with strategies for how you can earn money from it. Simple phrases like "I will know a lot" will not motivate anyone if knowledge cannot be converted into money. Ideally, you will also be paid for your education. Do you think I'm wrong? You get paid for what you get. You study, but know it's possible. And even though it sounds like an advertisement, I'll give you some real advice. The best way to learn is to put yourself in a situation where you are offered a reward for your work, but you don't have the skills to do it. This way, you kill 3 birds with 1 stone. First, you set yourself a real work task. Second, you put yourself in a situation where you have no choice but to do it. And third, you guarantee yourself money for this work as motivation. There are many tasks on freelance exchanges that you could do right now, but you think you lack the skills. But the secret is that you only think that. And this isn't just advice out of thin air, because I follow it myself. If I were to list all the work I've done without knowing how to do it beforehand, I could write a whole book. And I really did learn in exactly those conditions. Each such project moved me forward by leaps and bounds. I took an order, dug into the training materials, and figured it out as I went along. And there was never a project I couldn't complete. I completed every task and delivered it successfully. The point is that after such a quest, you will not only have completed work with money as a bonus, but also a firm conviction that you were able to do what seemed impossible yesterday.